October 2025. The streets of Memphis are loud again. Engines roaring, speakers thumping, phones lighting up with notifications. And it's not just another viral moment. It's something deeper, something electric. Because after 3 long years behind bars, Pooh Shiesty is finally home. You can feel it in the city. The energy, the rumors, the tension. Word is, NBA Youngboy and Quando Rondo might be plotting revenge. Nobody knows if it's true, but the internet's eating it up. Fan pages are dissecting old lyrics, digging up cryptic tweets, trying to piece together whether a new storm is brewing. Ever since that old fallout between their camps back in 2021, there's been quiet resentment simmering under the surface. And now, with Shiesty back in the picture, everybody's watching, closely. But to understand why this return matters, to Memphis, to rap, to the streets, you gotta rewind the tape. Because Shiesty's story isn't just another rapper gone wrong narrative. It's about loyalty, loss, and redemption in one of the toughest cities in America. When Pooh Shiesty, born Lontrell Williams Jr., first caught his federal case, he wasn't just fighting for freedom. He was fighting for his life. The charges were no joke. Conspiracy, armed robbery, aggravated assault. If he went to trial and lost, he was looking at life. Straight up. The feds don't play around, and they had evidence. Surveillance footage, ballistic reports, and a Louis Vuitton bag full of cash that prosecutors said tied him directly to a 2020 shooting in Florida. So he played it smart. Instead of gambling with a lifetime sentence, Shiesty took a plea deal. That deal cut down his exposure big time. The government pushed for 10 years, but the judge came down to 5. And once he hit prison, Shiesty made another move a lot of rappers can't pull off. He stayed quiet. No drama, no fights, no headlines, just time. 3 years later, that discipline paid off. His record was clean. He'd kept his head down, stayed in shape, stayed focused. That good behavior earned him an early release. When word broke that Pooh Shiesty was out, people didn't believe it. Social media had faked it too many times before. But when his lawyer, Bradford Cohen, jumped on Instagram to confirm, the city erupted. Now technically, Shiesty isn't fully free yet. He's in a halfway house, a place that gives him room to move during the day, but locks him in at night. It's the government's version of testing your freedom. But that didn't stop the celebration. First thing he did, dropped 100 racks on a brand new chain. Second thing, linked up with Big 30. Their reunion was everything the fans hoped it would be. Loud, emotional, authentic. These two have been rocking since before fame, before Gucci, before Back in Blood. Big 30 handed Shiesty a stack of cash just for touching down. It wasn't about the money, it was about respect. About saying, you made it through. That night, videos started popping up online. Clips of them laughing, rapping, flashing jewelry, reminding the world that Choppa Gang was still alive and breathing. But it didn't take long for things to get complicated. Just a few days after getting out, Shiesty jumped back on Instagram. But instead of just promoting his freedom or teasing music, he did something that caught everyone's attention. He left a "I love you" comment on Cardi B's post. Now for most people, that's harmless. But the streets remember. Back in 2024, while he was still locked up, Shiesty was already publicly flirting with Cardi, right when she was going through her divorce from Offset. It was messy back then, and it's even messier now. Because in 2025, Cardi's reportedly booed up with NFL star Stefon Diggs, and rumors are flying that they're expecting a child. So when Shiesty dropped that comment, fans lit the internet on fire. Was he trolling? Was it serious? Was he testing the waters for clout? Nobody knows. But it showed one thing. Shiesty's still got that unpredictable energy that made him a star in the first place. Shiesty hasn't dropped a real project since Federal Contraband 2. That tape was special because it was recorded inside prison, mostly through phone calls. The quality was raw, distorted, but the emotion was undeniable. You could hear the loneliness in his voice, the regret, the self-reflection, the anger, and through it all, one theme kept coming up. Big Scar. Big Scar wasn't just another rapper from Memphis, he was family. His blood cousin. Shiesty was the one who brought him into Gucci Mane's 1017 family. They were supposed to win together, but in December 2022, tragedy struck. Scar died from an accidental overdose. What made it worse? They weren't on good terms before it happened. There'd been tension between their circles, misunderstandings, pride. Shiesty talked about it in his lyrics. How guilt can eat you alive, how fame can twist family into foes. You can feel that weight in his verses. He's not just rapping anymore, he's confessing. But the Memphis he's returning to in 2025 isn't the same city he left in 2021. It's colder, meaner. The rap scene has grown, but so have the feuds. The biggest one right now? Big 30 vs. Moneybagg Yo. Once allies, now enemies. The beef started small. Subliminal shots in lyrics, rumors of betrayal. But after Big 30's cousin Newski was killed, things spiraled. Moneybagg's bars started hitting closer to home, and suddenly, everyone was picking sides. Moneybagg even threw a subtle line at Pooh Shiesty in one of his songs, and fans caught it instantly. Whispers say Shiesty's got multiple diss tracks locked and loaded, waiting for the right moment. But for now, he's keeping quiet, observing, calculating. Maybe he's learned that silence can be more powerful than a post. See, this isn't the the first time Shiesty's been at the center of Memphis chaos. Before he went in, the city was already divided. Young Dolph versus Yo Gotti, a war that split neighborhoods, studios, and loyalties. Shiesty could have picked a side, but he didn't. Instead, he signed to Gucci Mane's 1017, staying neutral and keeping his own lane. But staying neutral doesn't mean staying safe. In 2020, there were whispers of tension with Big Boogie and EBGE Jizzle. That same year, a shooting broke out at one of Boogie's shows. 2 people killed. Then, EBGE Jizzle dropped a diss over Shiesty's hit Back in Blood. Weeks later, he was shot himself. He survived, but the rumors spread like wildfire. Whether Shiesty had anything to do with it or not, his name was suddenly tied to violence again. And that's the thing about street fame. It never really leaves you. It follows, even behind prison walls. Before the fame, before Gucci, before the millions, Shiesty was just Lontrell from South Memphis, the son of a man known in the streets as Mob Boss. His father wasn't just any local figure. He had deep roots in the Memphis underground scene and alleged ties to drug kingpins. Mob Boss even tried his hand at rap, dropping a track called Mob Ties. So for Shiesty, this wasn't new. Music and hustling were family trades. He grew up watching both. By 2019, he was ready to take it seriously. He dropped his first track with Big 30, a local anthem that spread like wildfire across the South. Within a year, he was on Gucci Mane's radar. Then came Back in Blood with Lil Durk, the song that changed everything. It was cold, cinematic, and ruthless. By the end of 2020, Shiesty wasn't just a Memphis rapper. He was the Memphis rapper. But success has a way of testing people. In October 2020, Shiesty was caught in a shooting during what prosecutors described as a drug and sneaker deal gone wrong in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida. Surveillance footage showed men hopping out of luxury cars, shots fired, and when it was over, a Louis Vuitton bag full of cash was left behind. That bag had serial numbers matching money Shiesty had flashed on Instagram earlier. It was a rookie mistake, and one that cost him years of freedom. A few months later, another incident, a club shooting involving a security guard. The feds had him cornered. He took the plea, hoping for mercy, and got 5 years instead of 50. But it was enough to derail a superstar in the making. So what's the status with Gucci now? When news broke that Shiesty was out, Gucci was one of the first to post congratulations. That's love, but it's complicated. Because Shiesty's last project, Federal Contraband 2, was released under his own label, Choppa Gang, not 1017. That has fans wondering, did he quietly part ways with Gucci? No official word yet, but insiders say Shiesty's looking to stand on his own. In his words, "I'm the biggest. Ain't no CEO or OG over me. I'm CEO status." That independence comes with risk, but also power. He's got the name, the following, and the hunger. Now he just needs the right record to reignite it all. Shiesty knows the odds. He's seen what happens when rappers come home after time, how the hype fades fast, how the industry moves on. He doesn't want to be a cautionary tale like Bobby Shmurda or a tragic headline like Young Thug. He wants the comeback story. Behind the scenes, sources say he's been in the studio daily, recording, refining, working with producers from Memphis, Atlanta, and Houston. The word is he's sitting on a mountain of unreleased material. His team's been careful not to rush the drop. They want the right rollout, the right feature, the right moment. If he comes out swinging with a track that hits like Back in Blood, it's over. The throne's his again. But the biggest question isn't about music. It's whether Memphis and the life that built him will let him win. Because for every artist that escapes, 10 more get pulled back in. Shiesty's seen the cycle up close. He's lived it. The prison time humbled him, sure, but it didn't erase the codes, the connections, the enemies. He said it best in one of his phone verses from prison. "They want me gone, but I'm chosen." Can't kill what was built from the concrete. He's back now, older, sharper, battle-tested, and whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny the impact. When Pooh Shiesty moves, the whole culture pays attention. So as the world watches, one question echoes louder than the rest. Will this be Pooh Shiesty's redemption arc, or just another rise before the fall? Only time will tell.